Okay, hey, my point of all this was to sloppily show you that all this can be done on just 3 strings and how important triads are. Now, as in all these videos, I'm not expecting you to play this stuff note for note that I'm playing. I'm just showing you where we can go with all this stuff. So I'm going to get into some killer triad stuff and importance of the triads. But first, I wanted to tell you guys, happy Independence Day, happy 4th of July. Thanks to anybody out there that has helped us maintain that freedom that we have here in the United States. I love living here and I love visiting all countries, but I love living in the United States. I mean, this is home to us, and what a bunch of lucky people we are to be able to live in such a great and diverse country with many different geographical landscapes and destinations right here that we can visit. It's a pretty amazing place, and just thanks for that, and you guys out there. And man, you know, just hope everybody is having a safe and happy and fun holiday. Be careful out there with those fingers, kids, if you're playing with fireworks. I went to the store earlier. I thought that I might get to the store and everything would be sold out, but I went down to the end. There's a Publix right at the end of my street. I usually go to the Turnip Truck, which is our little health food store. But today, it's so hot out there, man. Oh my God. Many of you guys know, unless you're living in the Pacific Northwest or in Colorado or Montana, or you're way up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan or somewhere. I mean, those are the only places I know of in this country where you can get some relief from the heat. Otherwise, it's just hot. And the 4th of July is always a hot one. But so I went down to the Publix and got all the stuff. I got some corn, some baked beans, some chicken, some hot dogs, some hamburgers, some nice brioche buns. I got some nice vegetables, some nice butter lettuce, some nice tomatoes, some avocados, some nice things to make for today and tomorrow. You know, I'm a sucker. I like to have, I like to eat well, and I like to eat healthy, but I also love a good tradition. So on the 4th of July, you got to get out there, you got to sweat, and you got to grill. I got a couple ice cold beers down there. We're gonna have some ice cold beers with young Tom. And hook up with some friends a little bit later and go see the fireworks down here. We go down to like almost down to the Cumberland River in this kind of industrial area down there where all these people park, and you can really get a great view of the fireworks from downtown without getting into the craziness of Lower Broadway and all those drunks down there. But we'll kind of skirt the edge there and get down to the thing, and it's pretty wild, man. All these crazy people come down there, and because it's a little sketchy down there, you know, and you get these guys that are running wheelies with their motorcycles and doing all this stupid stuff. So it's entertaining you know, beyond belief. So we're going to go down there and do that. But look, guys, have a great day. I hope you get something out of this. And just, you know, if you can, you know, hit the tip jug, hit the subscribe button, you know, check out some links, check out some stuff that we're doing. It helps us make a living and keep these videos coming. They are free. Don't forget that. So I'm nudging you guys a little more than usual on the links in the tip jug. But anyway, so look, here's the thing about triads, and this is why they're so important. It's not a fad. It's not a clickbait. It's not nothing like that. In every one of these big giant chord shapes, we're in the key of G. There's a proper triad on a lot of these strings. We're thinking of three. We're thinking of 3 strings at a time. Now, what a triad is a triad completes a proper chord. A full chord can be made with a triad. This is a major chord. Without those other notes, that could be something else. That could be something else. I have to have all 3, the 3rd, the 5th, and the root. That spells out a G major chord. If I go to this inversion, the root is here, the 3rd's here, the 5th is here, still a G chord. I go to the A shape, the G's here, the 3rd's here, the 5th is there, G, B, D. That's still a major chord. So these big chords like this, they're just duplicates. Like this is a chord, this is a triad. Well, if I go to the next 3 strings, this is also a triad because the 3rd and the 5th are staying there the same. Then the root is just moving to the next octave, which gives you a different voicing, a different sound, but the notes are the same. When I go to this triad out of this big chord, my 5th is here, my root's here, and my 3rd, you can see the 3rd and the root are the same from the last inversion. So that is why triads are important. It's the same notes. And that is really crucial. Now, when I get down to this part of this chord, that's not a triad. That's a power chord. That's a root, 5th, and a root. There's no 3rd defining the sound of major or minor. So this is directly related to playing lead guitar. So the point of this is, if I have in the cage system, what I call the chord inversions. So if my G chord is here, my C chord is right underneath it because there's my C, there's my A shape, there's my G shape and E shape C chord. Well, those shapes, they're all changing together as we move up the fingerboard. If I play the C shape G chord, then my 4 chord C is going to be right there. My D is the G shape because the pattern has continued up. So if I play a triad right here and I want to go from G to C, well then look, there's my G, there's my C. So they're so close together. So each one of these shapes, right? There's my G, there's my C, there's my D, there's my G. So if I go up, there's my G, there's my C, there's another D right there, and then there's a G. So if you just take the root chord G, there's a proper triad on you're just really, really segmenting these groups of 3 out. Triad and 3 strings at a time. G, B, and E string. That's the proper triad right there. That's the proper triad right there. Out of the D shape, then A shape, proper triad, then the next one's back up, repeating itself, square one. So it really helps compartmentalize these triads. That's your G there. There's 1, 2. So there's really only 3 in this big section. There's 3 on that group of strings. If I go to the next group of strings, D, G, and B, there's 1, there's 1, and there's 1. If I go to the next group, there's my E shape, there's the C shape triad, then G shape triad. So you can see, I'll do this again from the big G shape G chord. On the D, G, and B string, there's my root, there's my 3rd, there's my 5th. When I go to the C shape on those 3 strings, now there's my root, there's my 5th, there's my 3rd. Now if I go to the A shape, that triad, there's my root, there's my 3rd, there's my 5th. Go to this next group of 3 strings. Root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, 5th, root. Okay, well then you've got this one. open chord, root, third, fifth, root, fifth, root, third, fifth. Okay, so that's where it's coming from. Now if I go up the fingerboard, G, C, D, G, G, C, D, G, G, C, D, G. That's a huge exercise because now I'm starting to see how just on 3 strings is everything you need, because all these other notes in these chords are duplicates. I can make a major, a minor, a dominant 7, or a major 7 out of all these triads. That's the rule that applies. So if I do this, right, I'm playing out of the triad. If I want to go from G to C, right, or I'm just grabbing these. Now, again, a lot of this stuff that I'm playing melodically, you're just going to have to hear. You're really going to have to use your ear to hear this stuff. But this is where it's all going to really, really happen. And this is the stuff that people don't spend the time to really dig into and really look at what notes are changing in those chords. Man, I spent years and years and years just looking at what notes are changing in these little bitty chords, right? So, but the triad is what spells the chord. If you don't have the triad, if I'm here and I just play those, well, that could be an E minor. That could be a C major 7 or a G. But when I spell that triad out, it gives you more information, tells you more confidently and more strongly that that's the chord, a G major, right? Okay, so if I do this, you know, if I'm here and I just hammer those on, well, now there's a C shape because I'm seeing. All this stuff. That's playing over G, C, and D. Watch. That's G, C, and D right there. So if I'm going, you know, I'm going to go right up the chord. I can do that. As much phrasing as you want to give it. But then when I put that C bass note under there, it turns into a melody. Climb up that 5 chord. Hear how that tension works over the 5? Now I'm playing the bass notes so you can hear that, but that's just out of these triads, you know. Watch, G to G7. helps you see this lead guitar stuff. So if I'm going D shaped, I'm thinking about that kind of stuff. So D7 or here. Sorry. As soon as I hit that flat 7, or then there's a C. There's a C chord right there. D. Minor's the same. That's all on 3 strings. So look, that's a lot to get into, and there's a lot to explain there, and there's a few, you know, little scale notes and things that I'm using, but focus on groups of 3 strings at a time with these big chords, and I swear to God, it's gonna open stuff up for you. Hey guys, happy 4th of July. It's a big day here in America. Love you guys. Thanks a million. Please, if you're feeling adventurous, check the links below. Check out everything we're doing. There's a cool thing coming up that I gotta sneak out to you. There's gonna be a collector's edition CD of In Stereo with a bonus track on it, custom artwork that's different, and we'll hand sign all of those. And we're gonna do a limited run of those, but we're doing the collector's edition with a bonus track on there that we didn't release on this one. So, hey guys, look, thanks again. Like I said, love y'all. You know who you are. Thanks a million for supporting this channel, and we'll see you real soon. Have a great, safe holiday. Thanks a bunch. Bye.